Hello! Are you ready to hear some r/ Today I F'd Up stories? Read by me, Red? If you are, let's get into it! Today I F'd up by helping a guy hear his wife cheating on him. I received a very panicked call yesterday afternoon while I was sitting at my computer in my boxes sipping on some of that pod coffee. Hi, is this Marmalade Recording Studio? For background, I'm a self-employed audio engineer who mostly records local musicians out of my apartment studio and potential clients, and as you'd imagine, they are usually artists or bands who want to record their music. However, every so often I get other requests such as recording audio for a local radio commercial or being asked to improve recordings that they've done themselves, such as in today's case. Hi, is this Marmalade Recording Studio? It's 4 p.m. and I am not much in the mood to record any new clients, but he proceeds to inform me that he's outside the studio right now and just needs me to clean up some audio he recorded on his phone. I tell him that he can email it and I'd return it the next day, but that wasn't going to work with Joe here. He sounds desperate as he explains, "I've been suspicious that my wife has been cheating on me with our neighbour." He proceeds to tell me how he started audio recording on his phone, hid it in his bedroom and left for work. When he returned later, the phone had recorded nearly 6 hours of audio. He got back in his car and sat in his driveway for a minute, composing and preparing himself, connected his phone to Bluetooth and began playing his recording while driving around aimlessly. He says he thinks he's hearing his wife moan and potentially a male voice is there as well and needs the audio improved so he can be sure. He lives 2 hours south of me and said he just got off the freeway and googled recording studio and I was the first one that popped up. Jeez, I can't say no. I tell him to stay, I'll come meet him outside and we'll get this audio cleaned up a bit. Joe here seems like a good enough guy, though very emotionally distraught. I'm filling up a glass of water for him before we sit at the computer. He's just giving that stare at the wall, that mindless stare, and I lead him into the studio room. He airdrops me the audio file and sure enough, it's 6 hours long. My immediate thought is I'll clean up the audio and I'll see the waveform where it gets louder. He's just sitting there in disbelief. A few minutes later, after making the most awkward small talk, he asks me if anything is going wrong in my life, laughs and clarified that it'll make him feel better knowing someone else is going through a hard time. I'm really feeling for this guy and noticing a few loud parts looking at this file. He interrupts and says he can't listen and asks if I can just send him definitive proof that she's cheating on him. I don't need anything long, just maybe 15 seconds. That's probably all I could bear to hear. I tell him I'll return something tonight and that I won't charge him because, well, how could I? I make myself a drink after he leaves and get another phone call. This time from a potential client who wants to discuss recording his band. These are my favourite calls and guarantees some good money. 9 songs is the plan, and after our call he sends me a demo of one of his songs. Pretty good stuff, kind of bluegrass style. Simultaneously, Joe sends me a text thanking me. I hit play, it's mostly nonsense, the TV is going, randomly I'm hearing a little girl in the background. He told me I might since they have a 2-year-old daughter. But after some time, I stumble on something that I'm thinking might validate his suspicions. It sounds like a woman enjoying herself, along with a guy grunting. There it is. I send him this clip, and I don't know what to add, so I just text, "I think this is what you're looking for." I sit back down and continue my drink, loading up the song I was working on before Joe called me in the first place. 2 hours go by and I get a call. It's from Joe. I'm hesitant to answer because I don't want to work anymore on this infidelity jam, and I'm not so much in the mood to be a shoulder to cry on. It seems to be the recurring issue in my line of work. But I answer, "Hey, are you going to send me anything tonight?" he asked. I'm a bit confused. I tell him I texted him a while ago. He checks his phone and said he didn't get anything from me. My heart sinks. I know I sent that audio to someone. I tell Joe I'll send it right over. I'm dying to get off the phone to figure out who received a 15-second audio clip of screaming infidelities. Damn it. I sent it to the bluegrass guy. This guy sends me a cool demo and I replied with sex sounds? I decide I should probably follow up that text and write him saying, "Whoops, wrong person!" And I'm just laughing my butt off, thinking that might smooth things over. I proceed to send the audio over to Joe. Then I remember Joe is likely going to be crying himself to sleep tonight. Bluegrass guy never responded, and Joe wrote back 10 minutes later saying, thanks. Oh, that's so bad. Can you imagine trying to hire someone and they're like, yeah, sure. And then they send you like some intimate audio sounds? Oh, God. Oh, that's so bad. Okay, here is the next story. Today I effed up by pressing the big red button. This was quite a few years ago when I was 16 years old. It was my first day working at a local large bakery/factory. I was shown to a conveyor belt and basically left to my own devices. All I had to do was put 6 Bakewell tarts in the packaging. Simple! Except it was really fast, and after a couple of hours my arms started to ache. Some of the Bakewell tarts started to fall off the end of the conveyor belt and onto the floor. I tried to hurry up and go faster, but was getting panicky, and before long there were at least 30 Bakewell tarts on the floor. I noticed there was a big red button on the machine that said push in case of an emergency. Well, this is an emergency, I thought, and pushed the button. 10 minutes later, I'm all caught up and I've packed all the Bakewell tarts up. I'm feeling ready to start again when some bloke starts barging towards me with steam practically coming out of his ears and swearing his head off. Did you press that effing button? He shouted. I said, yeah, sorry, it was an emergency because they were going on the floor. He screamed, well, you've just burnt 10,000 Bakewell tarts. By pressing that button, it stopped everything and they stayed in the oven too long. Yes, it was my first and last day. Oh. I mean, what did they think was gonna happen? You leave a 16-year-old unsupervised, and when you're 16 you're trying to do a good job and you get panicky if you don't. Oh, yeah, that's hilarious, but it doesn't sound like it was the job for you anyway, so. Okay, here's the next story. Today I effed up by slapping a stranger's butt. So, I flew home over the weekend to see some family. I've been working from home for the last few months and I've put on a few pounds, and I had to get a new belt before the trip. Anyway, last night I was running late for my flight home and I'm doing the mad dash through the airport. I get to security and start doing that whole song and dance, taking the shoes off, jacket, laptop out of my bag. Then I remembered I have my new belt on. I undo the buckle and try and pull it all the way out of the loops. It doesn't budge. It's too stiff and new. So I assist it out of the first few loops. Then I give it a tug again. Nothing. Still stuck. All of the while, of course, the TSA agent is waiting on me, along with a huge line of people behind me anxiously waiting for their own striptease act. Irritated, I give the belt one more hard tug and it whips out of my pants and slaps the man's butt in front of me. You know how the lion tamers will pop their whip for show? Or the boys in the locker room will pop each other with their towels? I just did this to a man, with some gusto I might add, that I do not know. He was actually a pilot in his uniform. He whips his head around to look at me with shock. TSA agent is cackling. I'm standing there with my mouth open, stunned. I apologized profusely and he was understanding. Then we stood awkwardly next to each other for probably another long 10 minutes. Anyways, I think we were both grateful to get out of that line. I hope you enjoyed those r/today I effed up stories, read by me, Red. Please give the video a like if you did enjoy them, and don't forget to subscribe as well because I read stories every day just for you. Thanks so much!